Hey astronauts, it's me, Brandi, and welcome back to Astro-Tarot Research. So, sorry for the weird setup today. I have a lot of clothes and I'm like giving away, going through, and a whole bunch of stuff to take care of in my room by the end of the year. Speaking of by the end of the year, I have finished the script to the Jupiter and Shravana video, so I should be filming that next week or this weekend. But we didn't come here for that. We came here for a pick a card reading, and this week's pick a card is what's going to be happening in 2021. I am super excited. I love yearly readings, and I feel like last year the card, the pile that I picked really embodied the reading for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I have been super busy for me like this year, and you can go back and check and let me know if that was accurate for you guys as well. It only helps to improve me as a reader, and as well as helps me concentrate and focus and do better. So let us get into this reading. We have 5 piles to choose from, so you can see what's going to be happening in 2021. It's got to be better than this year, right? We have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, pile number 5. I do want to remind you, obviously, to like, comment, and subscribe, and to follow me on Instagram at Astro_Tarot Research. But that is all. So just sit back, relax, and choose. Hey, pile number 1. We're going to see what's going on with your 2021. Hopefully it's an exciting year. I'm sure it will be. We have the Devil, I believe. Okay. Yep, making sure that the Devil. I gotta get used to these cards. We have the 10th house, the World. We have the Magician. Gosh, you have such an interesting year. We have the 7 of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Cups. And we have the 4 of Pentacles coming at you. All right, So right away, we know that the concentration of this year is going to be a lot to do with your work, just because we have the 10th house, and we also have the Devil, which is connected to the sign of Capricorn, which rules the 10th house. As well as we have the Magician, which is the sign of communication and Mercury. And not only that, but it usually rules businesses, everyday work environments. And then we have 7 of Pentacles, another 4 of Pentacles. Just a lot of Pentacle, like Capricorn, Earth sign energy going on here, as well as a lot of communication and business stuff, okay? So what this lets me know is, I think you're going to be doing very, very well on your career this year. And I say this because you're going to be a little bit obsessed with it. And I think it's a good obsession because it's going to make you very, very ambitious and push you forward and give you a lot of drive. If you already have that, then expect that to increase and expect this year to show results. And I definitely do see results only because we have the 7 of Pentacles. And when we ever get the 7 of Pentacles, that lets me know you've already accomplished stuff. Okay, so you've already gotten things done, as well as I expect to have some improvements of skills or being able to put your skills to use. And when we have the 10th house, I do want to say it's almost like you're shining in the world. A few things are shining. One, it's just you personally. You could personally just be leveling up right now, beautifying yourself, looking good this year, like maybe making some changes to your wardrobe, diet, hair, makeup, whatever, I don't know, just leveling up in that way. Or it's just a different sort of maturity. When we have the Queen of Cups, obviously we have somebody who's very emotionally mature, aware, and in tune with other people's needs, as well as they're able to, you know, just pick up on their own desires and to communicate that with others. In a way, and they're not afraid to express their vulnerability or being uncomfortable, or, you know, they see that as, you know, their sacred, that thing that makes them strong. Okay, so when we have this 10th house here, it's like saying you're just like putting yourself out there in the world. You're putting your, you know, heart on your sleeve, your vulnerabilities out there, and people are going to like what they see. Like, it's really just amplifies your respectability. Okay, not that you were already respectable, people will see that. Another thing pertaining to the looks, this is why I mentioned it, is because we have the Devil card. And when we get that, we can get somebody who can have like very more like seductive looks, be very attractive looking. And so people just may find you very highly attractive in 2021. So that's something that I also want to place out there with this year. But even though the concentration is a lot more on personal success with career or work or school, if you're in school, this definitely has something to do with the way you look, and it's just going to be very, I don't know, very sweet and youthful. I usually get a lot of cups for people who look a little bit younger, and it's like a prettier look. Even for guys, it's like a pretty boy look. Okay, so it just gives a more like a softer feel to the looks. I don't know how else to explain that, but you know it when you see it. Like, you know when somebody's like, oh, that's like a, like, it gives you a very like approachable look. Okay, when we have the Four of Pentacles here, now this card is indicative of some fears and some hesitations, and maybe feeling like you don't want to take that leap at some point. Maybe you feel like you're used to things being a certain way, and so you're a little bit scared to put yourself out there. But this card is letting you know that, you know, don't be scared to take that gamble, to take that risk. It will all be worth it in the end, especially with all these cards just being so magical and so supportive. I really do see this being like a really amazing year for you guys. If we want to look at things in terms of love life, and of course we want to look at things in terms of love life, I do feel like you guys may be dealing with a little bit of the same issues as you had before. Not all of them, because we do have the Magician here, and that would indicate some new energy coming in. So there could be this Magician-like character, or at least somebody who is well known in your area, or maybe just generally well known, who's going to come into your life, but it's going to be in the latter half of the year. And I say that just because we have so much earth energy, and earth energy can be very slow, or it's just saying it's going to be during the winter months. So it really could be January, February, or like towards, you know, end of the fall. Okay, it's just going to depend on the person, but whatever it's saying here, it's saying that this person is going to be coming into your life. You're going to really want to take a hard look and examine if you want to put your energy into this person, and you're not going to be sure, which makes sense because, you know, when you have a lot of mercurial energy, this person is like over here, they like this person, they like that person, you know, they may come off a little bit flaky. And you know, a lot of my viewers are women, and I guess men don't like this either, but a lot of people don't like when somebody's like very like inconsistent. Okay, especially women don't like that like, oh, I don't know what he's gonna do next. Like, it can make a lot of us uncomfortable, right? But I mean, I know men don't like that as well. They don't like, people just don't like flakes, right? Let's not just assume it's just a woman thing, but people don't like that thing about mercurial energy where they're not sure if they're interested in you, or they're interested in something else or whatever. And it's made like, and it may seem like that to that, this person may come off this way, but I don't feel like there's somebody who actually is this way. Okay, I think they may be this way in their hobbies and their career. It's possibly that they have a lot of varied interests, and maybe you see their varied interests as being a sign that they can't focus on one thing. It's okay. It happens to a lot of people, but trust and believe, like, this person will be very serious. Now, the cards are not saying where this will end up. It's just only saying that this is a person that's possibly going to come into your life for some of you. For those who are already in a relationship, it's pretty much same old, only that there will be a strengthen in communication, okay? And I say a strengthen communication because that Magician energy is so strong in the world. Okay, it's really putting itself out there. And I notice people who have their Mercury in their 10th house really do well with communicating on a broad spectrum and getting their point across, almost like a speech maker in a sense. They just need that bit of time to really think things through and be very, what's the word that I'm looking for? Be very understanding and understandable. Like they want to be able to be simplistic in the things that they say so that everything can come across in a way that's natural and fluent. And I only say simple because with the pentacles here, if it were just Mercury, it wouldn't be simple. They like their big words. But since we were surrounded by these pentacles, your partner will be trying, or you will be trying really hard to get your point across, especially when it comes to the things that make you feel good, how you want to express yourself, what you're thinking, what you may be going through, things that may hurt you, things that make you happy, whatever it is, you're just working on that communication. And it's going to be scary for a lot of you. A lot of you aren't going to want to take that leap right away, but I really do see that you guys will start opening up and being like, okay, it's time to, you know, take this to the next level and try to open myself and be a little bit more vulnerable. But I really do see this pile shining this year. It's just a little bit of a fear when it comes to all these new realities happening around you, especially within your career. And for some of you, I definitely see a change in job. I just want to put that out there. Normally, I don't say things like that only because like you can change your job pretty much anytime. But like for some of you, this really would be indicative of putting yourself in a new position and a high position with the Queen of Cups here, or at least a position that's very like, oh, okay, I might be in charge of somebody or something, okay? But that is all I have for you guys. I just wanted to throw all that information out there, and it was wonderful to read. I really do see your 2020 going super amazing. I will say with the Devil card here, you know, watch out for any of those things that may hold you back or may make you feel a little bit like confined, or like something you're using as a stress release but isn't good for you, you know, like drinking, or maybe I don't know what people do, like you know, biting your nails, whatever it is. You know, be wary about that this year, because there is a little bit of a stressor energy, but not too much, because there's no wands. And when we have no wands, it's like you don't feel like this heavy responsibility or anxiety or stress. It's mainly just like you have a lot of duties and work that needs to be done. So you may be a little bit spread thin sometimes, but it's not like you're stressed out. So, you know, I really do see that this would be a really good year for you, okay? So I am going to talk to you guys later, and I will see you in 2021, or with the next astrology video. Depends on how fast I can edit, all right? So, au revoir. Hey, file number 2, let's see what's gonna happen in 2021. Can I speak English today? No. Hey, file number 2, let's see what's gonna happen in 2021 for you. I have a feeling it's gonna be good, but we'll see. We have the 8 of Swords, Jupiter, Abundance, 7 of Cups, Empress, Page of Swords, the 5 of Wands. Okay, so I'm sorry, I took that long pause, guys. It was just like so much was coming at me. Okay, so obviously with Jupiter Abundance, that's wonderful. Usually what I've noticed what Jupiter as a planet does, it's not like it just makes you like super rich and you're just like amazing and life's great and fun all the time. All it does is just give you more opportunities and more access to things. And sometimes it could be access to the wrong things, because Jupiter expands into whatever. For example, let's say I'm on a diet and, you know, now I get put in a position where I work in a candy store and I get a raise, and not only do I work in a candy store, but like I'm the general manager, or maybe I own like 5 candy stores now. Somehow I went to a higher position, basically. So I got an opportunity to go to a higher position, but it's not necessarily great that I would just take advantage of it and eat a bunch of candy all day, because that wouldn't be great for my diet. So Jupiter will just give you more opportunities, access to the things that you may like and you may want to indulge in. Some of it will be good and some of it will be not so great. But really, it's just up to you of what you want to pour your energy into. Jupiter is going to give you the opportunity, but it is up to you to practice self-control and discipline. Okay, that is all I have to say about Jupiter and abundance, but that is good, because who doesn't want opportunities to shine? And let's see where we're getting opportunities in with the Page of Swords and the Eight of Swords. More than likely, it's like opportunities to, sometimes this can be like job interviews. I've seen the Page of Swords before. I've seen it for like making connections or networking in a way. I've also seen the Eight of Swords having to do with like the opportunity to, this could be like the opportunity to say the things you never really got to say, okay? Especially since it's next to the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is always about daydreaming, really just being in your head a little bit. And especially if it's next to the Eight of Swords where somebody's holding back what they're saying and they're thinking of all the possibilities of how the conversation can go. Well, this is like year saying, yeah, you get to actually have those conversations with people, okay? So if you have had some sort of fantasy built up in your mind where if you're like, oh, if I was in this scenario, I would say and do this, or I would talk to this person this way, or if I could get some closure on this, I would talk to somebody about that. And this would be the year to be able to open up. Okay, when it comes to that, maybe there's some things you want to say to a particular woman, could be your mother, could be a friend, could be an aunt, could be whoever, but whoever this person is, you definitely had conflict with them, and I only say that with the Five of Wands. It's consistently shown up for conflict. I was just talking to a friend the other day and she said she's gotten the card to actually also mean jealousy. So it could be even somebody who has been jealous of you or you have been jealous of. Either way, all the cards are saying is you're going to have some very important conversations next year. So that's coming out for a lot of you. In terms of like career and stuff, we don't have any pinnacles, so it's not like the hugest career focused year, though we do have the Empress. And what I'll say about the Empress is I usually get the Empress for making strides in like a career that's more creative or a career that maybe it's more dominated by women, which be like the fashion industry, or make products towards women, you know, and you can think of just tons of women products out there, okay? But if you're in a field like that, then this would really be about getting some opportunities to go into different areas in that field. But if you're not in a field like that, then this is really just about you being comfortable within yourself and being more happy, okay? I usually get the Empress to represent somebody who just loves and respects themselves, not necessarily someone who is doing great career-wise. If we got the Emperor, I would say that you would be working a lot, but since we have the Empress, it's a more leisurely card, honestly. It's come up for me. I've gotten a lot for, you know, confidence and having self-assuredness, and just liking yourself, just generally loving yourself and taking care of yourself is what I normally get the Empress to represent for me. So I see that being in the cards for you this year. I also have to mention, because we have this Page of Swords and it's next to the Five of Wands, and we all know Pages of Swords are about like these little conversations that we have, and then Five of Wands is about these fighting and, you know, bickering. This can mean a lot of arguments coming your way and a lot of like petty arguments, and it doesn't necessarily have to be ignited by you. It could just be people around you maybe saying a few things that are just like foul or uncomfortable, but it's okay because overall this year is going to be decent. I just want to mention that only because it's hard to not look at it when you see like this Page of Swords next to this lightning bolt. It's like an abundance of, you know, younger people or immature people being in conflict and talking about things, and this Eight of Swords energy of just trying to bite your tongue. So there may be a lot of like tongue biting in certain situations for you. I think a lot of the time you're going to be able to open up to whoever's necessary, but that doesn't mean that every conversation you're going to be able to express exactly what's on your mind. I think that's why you're going to be able to have a lot of those important conversations that I mentioned earlier. It's because you're going to be getting in so many conflicts that it's probably going to get to a point where it just wears you out and you're just going to like burst out with what you really have to say, right? So I just want to warn you of that. For some people, that's not obviously going to apply to everyone, okay? When we have this Seven of Cups energy, I do want to say that normally when it comes to, because we're talking about romance, that when I get this, when it comes to romance, this will be read completely differently. This is more like saying that you would have a lot of flirtatious messages. It doesn't necessarily have to mean like anything bad, because normally I get the Five of Wands when it comes to romance. If it's not like a couple arguing or you arguing with a date, then it would be like you know, teasing each other or like banter, being quick-witted in a sense. And this would be like somebody being shy or something like that. But when we have this Seven of Cups, it does look like you'll be in a few sort of dating relationships. I don't know if you guys are single or not, but this is giving me very like I'm single energy. It's okay if you don't feel bad about that in any way, because I just see so much stuff in the media about like, oh, feel bad for being single. It's whatever, okay? This is an amazing opportunity for you to meet a lot of people next year going into it, and it's just going to seem like you have this wide diversity of people being interested in you or you being interested in them, which makes sense because we have the card Jupiter Abundance once again, and it's also the Empress is what we're like ending with here. And I mean, who's not trying to be with the Empress, right? So the Empress is a really, really great card. If you are already in a relationship, then just give me a pause here. If you're already in a relationship, then I don't know, maybe you're going to feel like you have, I hope I'm not stepping any lines or boundaries, but I think some of you are going to feel like your partner is getting on your nerves this year. I'm not going to lie. I don't like saying bad things or any uncomfortable things about people's relationships or partnerships, but it's weird if I wouldn't even know how to read this in a way that would be like, you guys are having a ball. No, this is like my partner's getting on my freaking nerves, and I'm thinking that I have other options out there because I'm a boss, okay? That is what this would say to me. It just feels like that. Let me see if I can figure out what you guys would be even arguing about. Well, Jupiter sometimes is about like excess of stuff. So sometimes if somebody's like, oh, I like to go out and like to party, I like to do this, I like to be social. Not that any of us are doing that right now, but it could just be like, oh, somebody's doing too much, they're being too extra. Sometimes it's like, oh, they're a drama queen or something like that. That could be like something somebody argues about. Another thing with Jupiter, if you just get down to it, it's about money, okay? It's really about wealth of knowledge. If you really want to know what Jupiter's about, it's about wisdom. But with that, money is involved and there's this ambitiousness towards it. So it could be anything from like money to having certain philosophies or ways of thinking that just do not add up with each other. But it really just feels like it may be different egos, because I always get the Five of Wands to be like battle of the egos, can't agree to disagree, won't apologize, and by any means. So that could be a possibility for some of you. Obviously, if it doesn't resonate, choose a different pile. But overall, I see this being like a really, really great year. It doesn't say like what you're going to do. It just says how you're going to end up, which is you're going to end up in a better place than before, especially when it comes to career, relationships, love. I mean, you have this Empress card on the end, and it just shows somebody who's just like deeply fulfilled within themselves and having a strong support system. Now, that's not to say you won't have to like clean some people out or set some people straight, okay? In fact, I think that's probably going to give you that stronger support system in the end. You're not going to let people just walk all over you, but you're going to come at them in a way that is very much, you know, Jupiterian. Jupiterian people are honestly, it depends on the Jupiterian person, but like if somebody has like a lot of Jupiterian in the chart, they're gonna be like very like calm voice when they talk about things. They're gonna kind of like try to negotiate with you, but at the same time, they can also you know, they can bring out the big guns if they need to. This is Jupiter abundance, you know what I mean? Like Jupiter's like always has their squad with them. So you'll kind of back everything up what you have to say with facts, but you're not going to lose your poise this year, okay? You're just going to remain in this Empress-like energy. So that is what I have for you, pile number 2. 2021 is pretty much going to be a really cool year for you guys. I'm trying to think in terms of pacing. I think this year is going to fly by because we don't have any pentacles. And when I don't have any pentacles also, like I said, it usually means money's good. Like you're not worried about it, okay? It doesn't necessarily mean it's fantastic or amazing, but it's like, I'm not too worried, okay? It's not exactly where you want it to be, but it's like whatever. I hope that makes sense, okay? I will see you guys next time, pile number 2. It has been amazing to read for you, and I will see you in 2021. Hey, pile number 3, let's get started on your reading. So, we have the Knight of Cups, Taurus I have, the Ace of Cups, the Emperor, the 7 of Wands, and the 8 of Wands. Okay, so right off the back, I know this year you're going to be pouring a lot of energy into whatever it is that you want to accomplish, whether that's focusing on your goal, your career, education, whatever it is. It's just saying the main focus is that. Trust me, I know off the bat, whenever I get the Emperor to rule like a month, a day, a year, especially with the 7 of Wands, it's like the effort you have to put in is it's very high, but it's very doable, okay? And we don't have any 10 of Wands here or any 9 of Swords, so it's not like super ultimately stressful and giving you a lot of anxiety. It's just, it may tire you out a little bit, but it's just saying you just have to put in a lot of time and effort. So the 8 of Wands here lets me know there's going to be a lot of communication going on. A lot of people you're trying to talk to, come in contact with, make connections with. And I feel like you will make a lot of new connections, especially with the Ace of Cups here. Granted, it is next to fire. So sometimes when we get this, it could just say like rekindling old connections. But other times it's just saying making new connections with people who aren't one to sort of like be like super friendly in a way. Like they're not here to be your best buddy. So that's all that's indicating. But they're just going to keep it very professional, okay? So this is somebody who will very much like hide their emotions, or just like what's Cardi B's line in her song where she's like, I hopped out my feelings and I hopped in my bag, and that's why we got Taurus here. So I kind of feel like that's the theme for this year, and you're going to meet a lot of people like that as well. Another thing is it would indicate meeting a lot of young people and having some romantic interest in there. But with the Ace of Cups reverse, it's kind of like you're going to take your time with it. You're not going to sort of like, there's a lot of doubt when it comes to the Ace of Cups being reversed. It's not necessarily like negative. It's just like you don't want to rush into things. You're trying to look at things from all sorts of angles, to not just say, oh, this person makes me feel good, or I really like them. You're like, okay, well, let me step back and let me be a little bit more analytical about it, especially with the Emperor here. So I don't know if you guys are planning to really look for somebody long term, but this would be a very good indicator of that, of trying to meet someone who is like husband-wife material, whatever it is that you're into, because the Emperor just likes to think of the big picture, the long term. It is like an Aries sort of card. You know, Aries are generally impulsive, but ultimately they do have a plan in mind. It's just like they don't know how to get there step by step, right? They're just like, let's act, let's go, let's just do things in the moment, which I guess it's good for thinking on your feet, which is true. I have found that because I've been studying a lot of Aries lately, and Aries does seem to be that sign placement that out of all that I've seen is really good with like I guess getting lucky by thinking in the moment, because they are not planners, not all the time. I mean, obviously if you have other placements, it gets a little different, especially when you have Taurus here. So it's like the first part of the year, you're taking things steady, you're taking things very like solid, and not only that, but you're working on building up your wealth and your I don't know, maybe even your self-esteem, because when I get a lot of wands and this Emperor energy, I get a raise in self-esteem. And not only that, but a raise in self-awareness, because the Emperor card is connected to the first house and the second house, and those houses are very connected to the psycho, like yourself and the mind and the values that you have and who you are as a person. So it does give a lot of self-awareness coming to you this year. I would say there, like I said, there's this like feeling of self-doubt though. So I don't know what it is, but maybe you're just working through that. You're working through that emotion of just saying, okay, let me just build that confidence up. Let me trust my decision making. Let me be level-headed, and let me just kind of flow into this boss-like energy. But like I said, you will be very, very busy this year. There will not be a spare moment. But let's look at what we don't have here. And we don't have pentacles, and we don't have swords. More specifically, we don't have swords. And I say that because you can sort of read Taurus as being pentacles, because it's a very earthy sign, and it does focus on the second house of wealth and money and family. So there can be some things coming up with the family. Sometimes I get the Emperor to represent arguments, and it's connected to Taurus. So it is Aries, it's that fire sign. So sometimes you're like, oh, I gotta get this off my chest. I gotta say this now, especially with the Seven of Wands energy. It kind of feels like somebody's coming for you. Or it's like, oh my gosh, this person wants me to do something else. They're always asking me to do something, da 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 da. They don't give any energy back. But as I was saying, with the lack of swords here, it would indicate not exactly being the most objective person, okay? Swords are signs of truth, objectivity, logic, reason. I mean, that's why it's a good placement. Every placement has their good and bad. And not only that, but swords are the sign of communication. And so even if there's a lot of communication going on for you this year, with you meeting a lot of people, it's not clear to you exactly what they're trying to get from you, what's trying to come across, exactly what page you're on. So there may be a lot of miscommunication this year, just because of the lack of sword energy going on. But that's okay, because we got the Emperor here, and you're going to be able to think it through. So I think that's maybe where this confusion element and self-doubt is coming in, because you're like, what are these people even trying to say to me? Do they have hidden motives? Like, what's going on? That sword energy is like extremely strategic, and very, very much always trying to look for what exactly is the truth behind something. So when we have that, it does seem like this year it can be a little bit of a lack of awareness of what exactly other people's intentions are, okay? It doesn't necessarily mean an awareness of self, because I think you're going to have a lot of self-awareness this year. I think other people, you're just not going to be feeling like you're on the same page and really connecting in that way. And then we also have sword energy ruling the sort of like relationship houses. So the 7th house, the 3rd house, which is like friends, 7th house is like spouses, relationships, and 11th house can also be friends as well, but like networking. And we don't have a lot of that, so it does seem like you're doing most of things alone. Everything that you want to like accomplish, it's really you putting in most of the energy. Not that other people won't give their input. It's just saying that you're going to be the one that's like really taking charge in the situation, which makes sense because we have the Emperor here. But overall, if we want to look at love life here, like I said before, I do see some people coming up for you, but it's just saying that you kind of are a little bit wondering if they're like the right person for you. And I feel like there's just going to be a little bit of a frustration. Obviously with the 7 of Wands here, I definitely kind of see a little bit of sexual jealousy that comes up as well with this card placement. When we have the 8 of Wands here, normally 8 of Wands is just like in terms of dating, it's just kind of like sending messages, flirting, texting, FaceTiming, whatever. It's not really like, oh, sometimes it's like for hookups. You get that too. So this could be like a hookup energy if you are into that. But otherwise, it's most of the part like you're keeping it casual just because you really want that person to come in that's going to bring that like those like family values to you and have that strong commitment. So you're really going to be a little bit more you're just not going to accept people for their word and how they present themselves this year. Okay, and that is what I have for you, pile number 3. Actually, you have a really exciting year, and I see you accomplishing quite a lot. I see you getting a little bit more coin in your pocket. It may be a little bit of an emotional roller coaster, but there is some creative moments. There's you bossing up. There's you rising in, self-esteem and your power and yourself. Okay, so that is what I have for you, pile number 3. I cannot wait to see you next video, and I will see you then. Okay, if you've chosen pile number 4, let's not waste any more time and see how 2021 is going to be for you. We have the 6, is that the 6 of Wands that I see? Hold on, that's the King of Wands. Okay, King of Wands, the 4th house, the 10 of Wands, the 8 of Coins, the Star, and the Queen of Coins. All right, so you have a very, very much, it's like a year having to do with your mental health, and specifically the stressors, the things in your life that are causing you a lot of stress and make you feel a lot of burdens, okay? And make you feel like, gosh, this is too much, okay? Whenever I get this 10 of Wands energy, it really is like this maximum of like, I can't take on any more. But it's weird because we have this Star card at the end, and I mean weird because it doesn't look like you fumble. Like it's like you are at your breaking point where you have so much work in 2021, but at the same time you get it done and people are looking at you like, who is this like mystical person who has managed to do all of this? And what I think it is because when we get these 8 of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, the 8 of Pentacles is very, very strategic, and they're very organized in how they do things. So maybe you have like a calendar that you stick to. Maybe you're going to have like a very rigid schedule. Same with the Queen of Pentacles. She's very much into her routine. And I think you setting that routine will allow you to get everything that it is that you want done. Another thing when we get with the 10 of Wands is if we move into like a romantic era, it can rule sexual frustration, especially when we have it, next to the 4th house, and the 4th house kind of rules your emotions. So it can just mean like, I'm just so frustrated with that, like everything seems so far away, because I've gotten the Star card in romantic readings to rule like long distance. So that could be somebody in a long distance relationship, or just maybe it just feels like somebody who you want to connect with, or you're hoping to connect with, or if you're single, you don't have anyone in mind. It's just saying you're looking for a connection, and they just seem so far away. It just seems so hard to get that, okay? And so you're looking for someone to pour your passions onto. But I usually get the 10 of Wands to rule very high sexual frustration or sexual attraction. So it can also mean that somebody coming into your life, maybe this King of Wands like energy person, you have a very strong attraction to, okay? When we have this year coming up with the Queen of Pentacles, whenever I get the Queen of Pentacles, it's somebody who's focusing not on doing specific work for other people. Not to say you won't do that. Like if you work for a company, that would be like doing work for specific people. But not only that, but she focuses on a lot on catering to her own needs and her own desires and what it is that she wants to accomplish. So whenever I get a Queen of Wands day, I know personally, I'm usually working on like a hobby or something. And when I've gotten it for other people, it usually represents something that they want to work on. They want to be doing, they want to be there for, and they're like, okay, I like doing this. And not only that, but I also get it for being like self-care. So taking care of your hair, skin, nails, working out. Queen of Wands comes up for things like that, taking like a stroll, which makes sense because it's connected to like all the other pentacles with the 9 of Pentacles and all that, and that person's walking through their garden. So the Queen of Wands has got like several gardens to choose from, and she's just walking whatever she wants. She's taking her time. So there are some breaks in between all of your hard work, and you really are going to be like glowing this year. I have to mention that with the Star card, because whenever I get the Star card, I do get a lot of references towards somebody's appearance being like very beautiful, or people find them very glamorous to say the least, or just a very like a nice presentation from you that people will get. when we have this star card too, it would also indicate making a little bit more money or focusing on gaining more wealth. And I say that because whenever I have fire energy combined in like the 11th house, I see people really focusing on trying to make more money, gain more money, have more sources of income. So that is also a strong possibility for some of you this year, just like trying to gain more sources of income. You may be doing a little too much, but I definitely see it coming in here. With the 4th house energy, I don't know if some of you are planning to revamp your home. I would say moving, but we have so many pentacles here and wand energy. And it's not like wand energy doesn't go around as much, but when it's with the 10 and it's the king, it's like those cards aren't they can't go far, okay? So, I think it's you trying to add a little bit more beautification within your home or your home-like environment, or just like focusing on, it could be cleaning things. It could be like, oh, I want to be extra clean this year. I want to dust things. I want things to look more beautiful. Maybe I want to buy more appliances. I have gotten literally 4th house in this combination to just me like buying like kitchen appliances, okay? So it's just like saying you're bringing like more things into your home, or you're beautifying your home, or you're making your home a little bit more practical and useful and more comfortable for you. So I see that happening for you this year. And without 4th house, we can't fail to mention your mother. I don't know if you have a stressful relationship. I only say stressful because it's like queen, roots, stress. So I don't know, or maybe just a stressful female like figure, or somebody who has a lot of feminine energy within your life could be causing you a little bit of stress, and you're just gonna be like, I just need to, I need to have a break. I need to get away from this person really quick, okay? Especially by the end of the year here. But definitely King of Wands, you're on top of things this year. You're doing what you need to do. You're pretty much unstoppable when it comes to that. Like, the King of Wands is such a vigilant energy. You will probably be on your toes a lot, okay? You're going to be up, Adam. And like, trust and believe, the King of Wands doesn't sit down. It's pretty weird. They don't sit down from like the beginning to like the end of the day, and then it's just like 10 o'clock and they're like, all right, well, I gotta go to bed because I gotta get up again, okay? But it's like always on the move card. I've always seen the King of Wands represent. It's really not a lazy energy at all. And I can expect you, if you have your own business, to, I guess, start doing a little bit better in that. Or even if you just have a hobby that you're very interested in, or a skill that you're practicing. Like, for example, like I have been trying to learn nail art. So like, we could say this is nail art and you're trying to like get better at it. And by like some point in the year, you're going to really, really improve that skills. And people are going to be like, oh my God, look at your nails. Your nails are so cute, right? Like, so people are like looking at your skills improving before their eyes. And it's going to take a major leap, because we go from this 8 of Pentacles to this Queen of Pentacles, and that's like, wow, okay? That's what's happening for you. If you see anything else in terms of like I said, family could be a little bit of a stressor. Money's good. I definitely see you getting more sources of income, or at least maybe some of you switch jobs, but I don't. It's like it's not a major theme, okay? These cards are usually like, we already have our thing that we're into. So if you're switching jobs, you're probably not going to switch fields. But these two definitely stay within their zone. Some networking going on. Possibly like an older woman, an older man, sort of like giving you that heads up. Or it could even just be somebody who's in an authority position in comparison to you. I've seen the King and Queen of Wands represent that. Sorry, the King of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles represent that. Like I said, in terms of love life, it can be some sort of frustrations, feeling like somebody's a little bit farther away. If you're already in a relationship, everything's pretty much good. Like, you really, like, it's just saying that you guys are just really focused on each other and, being together and trying to make sure that your futures, I guess you guys hit all your future goals together. Because when we have the 10 of Wands here and it's like family and these two are like really focused on each other, it's just saying that maybe your goals are a little bit different and you guys are trying to figure out a way to bring them together. And it's getting very, very stressful. So that's possible, something that's happening this year. I just don't... It's so strange that we have, I I mean, not strange. It's not strange like, oh, this is bizarre. It's just more like, I'm trying to figure out how y'all get to this point of like balance, okay? Like, cause that's what I'm really focused on. I'm like, I've like never seen that in a reading where it just goes to this, like this point of just balance after this. So I'm gonna pull one card for you guys. Temperance, another card representing balance. So you guys just really focus on compromising if you're in a relationship, or if you're just balancing your responsibilities, you focus on what you can do and what you can't do. And so I guess you are letting some things go, or you're rotating them. And what I mean by rotating them, let's say you have like 5 things to do today and you're like, you know what, I can't do all 5. I'm going to put some things off to tomorrow, and then the next day I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and then maybe you switch up your schedule for how you need it to do. But whatever it is, you guys will find you're looking for that balance. I mean, it's so funny. We got 2 cards representing balance, and I was like, why are they doing this? But yeah, by the end of the year, you're very balanced. You're very in a good headspace. You're very chill. You're like, I like where my life's at. I'm doing well. I'm successful. I'm very happy, and I'm positive. Like, you have such a positive and excited outlook by the end of the year. It's just like this overwhelming enthusiasm towards, you know, your possible future. And I just wish you guys all the best of luck, because I see so many wonderful things happening for you. Okay, and that is all I have for you guys. It's really going to be like a roller coaster of a year towards the latter half. But like, other than that, the beginning's very stable and very much on your feet, okay? And I'll see you next time. Au revoir. Last but not least, pal number 5. Let us get started on your reading. We have the Knight of Swords. We have Capricorn I use, the 4 of Wands, the Knight of Wands, King of Pentacles, the Hangman. Interesting. Okay. So, when we have so much, like 2 sort of night energies, the thing that night energies have in common is that they're both learning, and they can both make decisions that can be highly brilliant, but they can make some pretty reckless decisions as well. So I kind of feel like this year for you is like a real learning curve, where you're going to be put in some situations you have never been put in before, and they're going to allow you to grow in your intelligence as well as your confidence in your abilities. But in terms of like your, I guess, your general financial abilities to keep things going and provide for yourself, you're good, okay, in terms of that. But it's just a lot of learning to do when it comes to, you know, social interactions, communications, learning about people, and not only that, but learning a little bit about yourself and your own passions and your own desires. So that's what this year becomes about. When we have all this like masculine energy, there's just definitely going to be some very important relationships with male figures. I don't know if you're going to be dating a lot. I don't know if you are looking towards long term. Some of you may get married, but I never mention that. I only mention it because we have this Capricorn. Capricorn can be like, oh, this is the goal, this is the final thing. And a lot of, you know, men and women will see getting married as like this, one of those major life goals, okay? So that's the only reason I mention it. But let's go, and back to what I said, in terms of dating, if you're single, this would indicate, you know, interacting with quite a few different men or women. It depends, you know, because a lot of times, most of the times the cards come up for me with masculine cards for men and feminine cards for women. But sometimes I get masculine cards for women and feminine cards for men. But usually it's because people will just be like more ambitious. That's what the most indicative of like the masculine energy. Like they like more take charge. Okay, so it doesn't have to necessarily mean that. I'm just telling you how it comes up for me. But usually this would mean you're dating, or you're experiencing, or you're interacting and flirting with people who are a little bit more in masculine energy, more take charge energy, more ambitious, less likely to be very nurturing in a sense. That's just not the vibe that they're giving. They're here for excitement. They're here for having some interesting conversations, silly conversations, having some ideas being thought through. Sometimes I get the Knight of Wands as being somebody who has a lot of ideas, but maybe not a lot of follow through. But they can have some really great ideas. And sometimes I get the Knight of Wands as somebody being highly, highly energetic, but lacks focus. Okay, so you could be meeting some people like that, and you can also get this King of Wands energy, which is somebody who's usually very, very mature, somebody very goal-oriented, and someone who overall likes to think of everyone's needs and not just themselves. So you're going to be meeting a few people who have these qualities. Maybe they have all of these qualities. Maybe it's just one person in one go, but I just have to mention that because dating is coming up very strongly for this pile. If you guys are already in a relationship, then this could just be spending time with friends and family and having a good time doing it, okay? Especially with this Four of Wands here. With the Hangman, I do have to mention the Hangman coming up for this year means this year is going to feel like, man, you are just waiting for things to move along, okay? And I know with this Capricorn, I use energy, you're definitely ambitious, or you're somebody who will at least focus on trying to present yourself in a way that is professional. And not only that, but someone who is a go-getter, someone who, what can I say about Capricorn energy that you guys haven't like already heard? Capricorn energy can be, they think of everyone. Ultimately, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is the planet known as servitude, okay? So when somebody has a lot of placements within their 10th house, it's like they're of service to someone. That doesn't mean a bad thing, because guess what? Presidents are supposed to be of service, right? They're supposed to be representative for the people. So it is saying that this year you will be put in a position where you'll be in power, but it's only as of service to someone else, right? That could be anything. That could be you being a manager, a supervisor, head chief of something. I'm trying to think of like a counselor. So it's like saying, hey, you're of service to someone, but you're put in a position of power. So I see that happening for you. And for other people, because it's next to this Four of Wands energy, it could just be like head of household or gaining respect within your family. I just got to mention that because with the 4 cards, I get a lot of connections to home and family that happen and come up, okay? But really this year, it's really more lackadaisical. It's not a year to really push yourself to the limit and max yourself out and pour all your energy out there, only because it's not going to do anything. The cards are like saying, hey, have fun. Like, we want you to have fun. We want you to talk and hang out with people. And while you're doing that, we want you to sort of learn and observe, because another thing about Capricorn energy and Vedic astrology, you have the sign placement Shravana, which I'm working on that video now. And it's in the sign placement of Vedic Capricorn. And one thing I've noticed that's consistent theme about Shravana, Uttarashada, and Dhanishta is it becomes about ingraining yourself in different cultures and realities that are foreign to you, that are just completely different from your own ethnicities and races. And so what this is saying, it wants you to sort of like be around people who are a lot different than you and celebrate yourselves in a community and get along. Like it just wants you to gain insight and education, because obviously one thing we forget about the fire signs is the fire signs rule the 5th house and the 9th house. And those are the houses of education. And well, obviously wands are fire sign connection. So it's like saying it wants you to educate yourself on people, different cultures, different races, different ideas, different religions, and just know, okay? And that's why we have this Capricorn energy I use. We can use because we come from that Sagittarius energy I know, okay? So we've learned something. And so we're gathering all this information for you so that you can learn something to apply it for you and your goals and your future. And especially it has to do with rising to a position of authority and power, because I get the Hangman to represent Pisces. And if you've seen my Mars and Pisces videos, you know one of the predominant themes was about rising to power. And I don't know why this is so important for you in the specific reading, where it needs you to really look at your surroundings and look for the positives in it, and really sort of understand what it is that causes all people to celebrate and come together in order for you to gain authority and position of power in whatever area it is that you are focusing your energy into. But if you really want to know, this year is about, it's just really about just really ingraining yourself in other people, just enjoying other people, as I said before. But as I was trying to mention, you are going to try to push forward, and it's not going to happen in the way that you would like it to. So just relax. I will say though, I've gotten the Hangman to, especially next to this Four of Wands, to sort of represent just relaxing. Because I can remember when I started looking at different transits of people, and even a transit of my own when I had plans to go through my 12th house. It's just like, you don't need, there wasn't much, there was a lot of downtime, okay? There was a lot of downtime. I had a lot of fun because I was like watching a bunch of TV. It's not like it wasn't the only thing I did. Obviously I had a job, but I did that, and I noticed other people with their transit, they said similar things where they just had so much downtime. They had so much like meditative energy, so much thinking about their own lives and their own selves. And some people would enter therapy. Some people would sort of like create a diary where they can vent out their issues, their thoughts, patterns, and sort of look for things within their life in order to curve, you know, and change certain behavior. So I definitely see you letting go of just a lot of baggage this year, or even some people you might let go of, okay? But for the most part, it's like you're in a good mood this year because you're looking at things from such a positive perspective and such a unique, you're bringing your uniqueness into the world. Like, you're not letting anyone dim your shine this year. I don't know if you've done that before or not, but when I get the Capricorn, it's like the highest placement in the chart. So it's like you can't be ignored. So your uniqueness and individuality really is going to stand out for people this year. And I think that's what's causing all these people to sort of like gather around you and celebrate. I'm trying to think if I didn't mention anything. It's really about and expanding your mind with these placements and going to placements you've never seen before. Obviously, the Hangman can rule some hospitalizations. It can rule some aha moments or some clarity moments, definitely, without a doubt. Obviously, Hangman has to do with discovering things because it's connected to that Pisces energy. And if you've seen what I mentioned about Revati and Tara Bhajapada, especially Tara Bhajapada really likes to discover information and do a lot of research and pull themselves into the deep undergrounds of like what's there. Actually, just think about the person who created the Discovery Channel was Uttara Bhajapada, and we can even look to Jeff Bezos, and if you even just look at his documentary and how he started with like a bookstore. And he just told people it was a bookstore, but that wasn't his plan. He was trying to expand to this new universe. Like he got a lot of inspiration from Star Trek, where he was trying to, you know, with Alexa, put that in people's home. Like you had Captain Kirk had his like command box, and that's what his deal was from the start. So it's a lot of long-term planning with this, and not only that, it's a lot of, like I said, research and building up and thinking about this huge broad picture and getting into this space where your imagination is incredible and expanded, and you want to be able to just think of the large picture. It doesn't necessarily mean you got to plan it all out this year. It's just saying I need you to think about where you want to go and where you need to go and what is speaking to you and your heart. I see a lot of stability here. I do say there is a lack of cups. So even if you are dating, I don't think you're going to make super, super strong emotional connections or the connections you would like to make with people. It's going to be a lot of fun, though. It's going to be a lot of amazingness, but those cups really do bring in that intimacy, which I don't see in your dating life. Now you may still have those intimate relationships with the people you already have them with, but it doesn't indicate any new intimacy going on here if you're looking for that. And also with the Hangman, because you may think that's connected to Pisces and it's a water sign. Pisces is more about isolation. And so there it does get to this point where even if for some of you, maybe you're not the most social people, but you're getting put in a lot of social situations this year, and it can make you feel a little bit more alone, okay? So just think about that in terms of just feeling like you're where you can have all the praise and stuff in the world, but you feel like the lonely person. Reminds me of that Britney Spears song, where she's like, she's so lucky, she's a star, but she cries with a broken heart. Not to say you all sad and stuff. I'm just meaning like it may be hard to find people you really, really emotionally relate to, okay? So that is what I have for you. It does seem like it's a really like passive, like chill sort of year. Really steady as it goes. I do see a lot of fun moments because I didn't get any like super excited, elated cards for any other pals. You guys are having the most fun, definitely. So don't think it's like, oh, boo-hoo. No, you guys are having the most fun out of all the pals that I've seen. I want your year, actually. So I will see you guys next reading, and hopefully you enjoyed this. Feel free to subscribe. I love reading for you guys. It has been a pleasure as always. I will see you guys in 2021 or the next video. Love you guys. And I'm going to say this, au revoir.